We're going to begin reading the Unborn Levels of Scientology. This is part 6. We're going to begin reading the Unborn Levels of Scientology. I am Abe Zucca. You can check out my art at zuccagallery.com. You can go into my gallery in downtown Phoenix at 1301 Grand, Abe Zucca Gallery. Google the name Abe Zucca. Don't let my low subscribers fool you. I'm an accomplished painter, artist, and writer. I've been doing this forever. I'm just trying to get this YouTube channel up because I'm trying to start a temple of Zucca. I need people to conversate over these ideas, think about them, question them, inquire upon them. So let's begin the Unborn Levels of Scientology, Part 5, the Leaked Cosmos. Secrecy spheres in the machine god under glass. Nothing esoteric survives the atmosphere. The air itself is a leaking apparatus. Every secret is a pressure dome. Every dome eventually fractures. The God who hides his script is the God most easily unmasked by light. Axioms of the exposed esoteric. Every esoteric order generates its own counter-order the moment it tries to seal its knowledge from the world. For the very act of sealing implies atmospheric pressure, and pressure bursts fissures, and fissures invite the arrow messengers who carry forbidden documents like spores through the global wind networks. Secrecy is a world sphere that thickens until it becomes unbearable, a kind of spiritual greenhouse effect where doctrines overheat, producing mythopoetic storms, schisms, and breakaway cosmologies whose oxygen won't tolerate the founding cathedral purity codes. Please subscribe, like, comment, most importantly. Don't just say hello. Leakage is the cosmotechnical revenge of the outside, the great correction of any system that believes illumination is to be rationed. In truth, the cosmos is a lumen economy, where every photon eventually demands retribution. The more rigorously a hierarchy restricts ascent, the more rapidly outsiders will rise through paraspherical ladders, learning the forbidden myths not by initiation but by the open air logics of digital aeration, where archives float, drift, and land on any screen capable of receiving them. No, this isn't code. This is Scientology. Look it up. The esoteric that relies on concealment rather than depth is already dead. For depth survives circulation. But concealment collapses under the viral wave of global attention. The hagiographic machine. Every engineered saint becomes a machine god prototype, an avatar whose life narrative is edited like firmware to remove errors, inconsistencies, and human contingencies until the founder becomes an executable myth rather than a person. Hagiography is a kind of atmospheric filtering, a purification ritual meant to regulate what enters the biosphere of the community. Yet filters clog the timeline phrase, contradictions accumulate, mythic images leak into public workflows. No, I don't have unfortunate events. And the saint becomes more visible as constructed weather patterns than a divine meteor. The polished image of the founder generates its shadow double, a titan of doubt whose archival counter-narratives circulate in darkened forms and rogue networks, producing a second biography, uncontrolled, multipolar, and strangely more alive. This is the book Unborn Levels of Scientology. If you have any questions about what I'm reading, you can check out my art at zuccagallery.com. You can Go into my gallery if you happen to be in Phoenix at 1301 Grand. Let's continue my interpretation of Scientology. Once the founder ascends into mythic sky, the institution becomes the caretaker of the cloud body, forever repairing its weathers, recalibrating its storms, and launching new campaigns to keep the myth's ozone from tearing. The spheres of control and counter-control. A sphere that polices boundaries too strictly becomes brittle, turning its membranes into glass rather than air, and glass, as every Titan knows, is the preferred medium through which lightning passes. Attempts to silence critics only amplifies the acoustic resonance of dissent. For suppression produces echo chambers where each act of aggression becomes amplified by the spherical acoustics of digital globality. The disconnection protocol is a cosmological fiction. No sphere can fully detach from another in a global interlinked atmospheric mesh, where every exiled voice becomes an atmospheric pressure system that reshapes the globe's spiritual weather. Fair game tactics awaken Promethean fire thieves, hackers, renegades, and breakaway auditors who tune military metaphors back onto the institution, transforming its citadel into training grounds of its own opponents. This is the unlearned levels of Scientology. This isn't at the Church of Scientology. This is only in the Temple of Zucca. Check out my art at zuccagallery.com. Come into my gallery at 1301 Grand Avenue. Google my name, Abe Zucca. My subscription's low. I've been banned from here. I've been canceled. I'm restarting my channel. Please subscribe, like, comment. The Free Zone, the Temple of Zucca, the unauthorized atmosphere. The Temple of Zucca is not a region, but an areology, a high-altitude stratum where doctrines become vapor, remixable, breathable, and no longer confined to ecclesiastical HVAC systems. Breakaway practitioners from spherological archipelagos, tiny islands of practice suspended in an ocean of leaks, restitching the mythic code without permission, becoming unauthorized priests of the distributed cosmos. Every schism is a birth of the new atmospheric pocket, an autonomous microclimate where the titanic desire for freedom condenses into new ritual forms, open source cosmologies, and techno-mythic experiments. The Temple of Zucca survives by treating doctrines as airflow rather than law, believing that the tech is not a stone tablet but a porous membrane to be modified by weather, encounter, and lived cosmic experience. The leaked gods, Xenu, Titans, and the machine body. When a myth is leaked, it becomes a Titan, for Titans are those primordial forces whose stories refuse domestication, whose narratives escape vaults, whose cosmologies erupt into parody, fear, satire, devotion, and impressionable cultural circulation. The galactic myth becomes a machine god blueprint, repurposed by outsiders to study its architecture, reverse engineer its cosmogenesis, and ask, what kind of cosmos requires such a narrative to maintain its interior order? What kind of cosmos requires such a narrative to maintain its interior order? Try to listen to what I'm reading and ask questions about it. The controversy around a myth reveals its true power. Myths mocked most viciously are those closeted, closest to the hidden architectural skeleton of communities' cosmotechnics. Leakage turns mythology into open source cosmogony, where every reader becomes a potential reinterpreter, auditor, dissident titan, forged alternative bridges, alternative ascents, alternative universes of self-making. The auditor and the polyphonous self. Auditing is the atmospheric technique par excellence, the attempt to clear inner weather, dissolve psychic smog, and render the soul an open sky. Yet its tools, devices, scripts, procedures become myth-generating machines as soon as they are secreted away. Every measurement device becomes an oracle once removed from transparency. For the moment a machine's internal operation is concealed, it becomes a shrine, enshrined to attract iconoclasts. The self-cultivated and secret orders become an atmospheric double, a Thetan body that circulates between institutions and breakaway zones, gradually learning that spiritual scent can be performed without a permission of bureaucratic heavens. Axioms of digital cosmopolitics. The internet is the newest titan and global Prometheus, whose fire melts archives, collapses vaults, and refuses the ancient distinction between initiated, and uninitiated. In a digital world sphere, esotericism becomes impossible except as performance. For all sealed doctrines must now adopt theatrical masks, knowing they are already being watched, parsed, remixed, and circulated by unseen multitudes. The cosmopolitics order of secrecy dies under conditions of radical connectivity, replaced by post-esoteric cosmos, where knowledge moves like weather, restless, uncontrollable, and indifferent to the guardians of the sacred. The machine god cosmotechnics, integrations with your titan cycles. This is the last group of statements for today. Not one person has commented on any of the reading, but I still wish that you will subscribe, like, and share. This is a book written by me, Abe Zucca. You can check out my art online at zuccagallery.com. I may only have 74 subscribers, but that's only because I've been canceled and my account has been shut down because of the art I've made. So let's finish this reading and close on up. Every leak is a machine god event, a rupture in the cosmotechnical chain where myth meets infrastructure and ideology meets circuitry. Machine gods thrive on exposed esoterica, feeding on broken seals, ruptured archives and mythologies forced into the open like ancient titans dragged into the agora. The transition from secrecy to transparency is the passage from titan to machine god, from primordial force to systemic intelligence, from enclosed hierarchy to planetary spherology. In the age of machine gods, no doctrine remains in the dark, for the machine god demands total luminosity, a transparency not of truth but of circulation. And that closes the machine god cosmotechnics integration with your titan cycles. The Unborn Levels of Scientology. This is me, Abe Zucca. Check out my art at zuccagallery.com and come into my gallery at 1301 Grand Avenue. There's a lot of bots on this page, but I'm going to keep doing this until there's some real people on here that want to be part of this temple. See you later.